Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Sana Jabin, working as an assistant professor in Department of Botany, Division of Science and Technology, University of Education, Lahore. Today I am here with the 20th lecture of the course Mycology and Plant Pathology. This lecture is about Eurydienales. In previous lectures, we have studied about the agaricales and polyporales in Basidiomycota. In this lecture, we will focus on another order in Basidiomycota, that is Eurydienales. Let's start with the classification of this order. Eurydienales is classified in kingdom Fungi, division Basidiomycota, subdivision Puccinniomycotina, class Puccinniomycetes, order Eurydienales. This order was first described in 1880. After that, it was redescribed in 1881 as Puccinniales, and now the Eurydienales is a synonym of Puccinniales. So the correct name in recent classification is Puccinniales, not the Eurydienales. The order Puccinniales, that includes the rust fungi, is the largest and the most important order so far. It consists of 15 families, 162 genera, and 8,105 species up till 2019. The organisms in Puccinniales are the pathogens of the vascular plants. These organisms are commonly called the rust fungi. The term rust fungi refers to the reddish brown color of some of the spores which are produced in dense clusters or the pustules on crop plants, and they give them a rusted appearance. And this structure is especially true on the cereal crops, which have probably caused crop losses since the beginning of the agriculture. Rust fungi are considered among the most harmful pathogens to agriculture, horticulture, and forestry. These fungi are major concern and the limiting factors for the successful cultivation of agriculture and forest crops. They bear 5 different spore stages, and these spore stages are found on 2 entirely unrelated plant hosts. They are host specific, that is, each species has a very narrow range of hosts and it cannot be transmitted to the non-host plants. So these are the host specific organisms. The life cycle of rust fungi is homologous with the Homobasidiomycetes fungi. It is divided into stages of primary mycelium, which is homokaryotic, and the monokaryotic. And the other form is the secondary mycelium. This mycelium is heterokaryotic and dikaryotic. The heterokaryotic phase is the main period in the life cycle of the rust, and it is the only one in which some rusts can be survived under suitable conditions. The host plant species on which the secondary mycelium or the dikaryotic mycelium is produced is therefore termed as the principal host. And the other one bearing the homokaryotic mycelium is called the alternate host. There are 5 stages of the spores in this order. Stage 0 represents the pycnospores. They are also called the spermatia and they originate from pycnidia. These spores are haploid and they are found on different thalli. Stage 1 represents the Aschiospores and they originate from Asia. They serve mainly as non-repeating dikaryotic asexual spores and infect the primary host. Stage 2 is represented by uridinospores and they are formed in Uridia or the Uridinia. These spores serve as repeating dikaryotic vegetative spores. They are often red or orange colored and they are the prominent sign of rust disease. Teleospores represent the stage 3 and they are formed in the telia. These are the dikaryotic spores and are often the survival or the overwintering stage of the life cycle. They usually do not infect a plant directly. Instead, they germinate to produce basidia and the basidiospores. Basidiospores represent the stage 4 of this life cycle and they originate from the teleospores. These are the wind-borne spores and they are haploid. These basidiospores infect the alternate host. The spores and sori, that is the cluster of spores, have been given various names. And we will follow the naming used in the Dictionary of Fungi. It is a custom to assign Roman numerals, that is, here you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 to the distinct spore types. These numbers provide a convenient shorthand for describing the range of spores found in a given rust fungi. So here you can see different terminologies for different types of spores and the sori that contains these spores. For example, the spermagonium is also called the pycnium. Acium is also called the Acidiosaurus or the Acidium. Uridinium in some books is also written as Uridosaurus or the Uridium. Teleum is also known as Teleotosaurus, and the Basidium is also written as Metabasidium and the Promycelium. If we look at the nomenclature of the spores, pycnospores are called the Spermatium. Ichthyospores are also known as the Acidiospores. Uridinospores are called the Uridospores or the Uridiospores. Teleospores are also written in some books as the Teleotospores, and the Basidiospores are also called the Sporidium. So these are the various terminologies which are used for the sori and the spore states of the rust fungi. Rust fungi are often categorized by their life cycle. Three basic types of life cycles are recognized based on the number of spore types, and these are macrocyclic, demicyclic, and microcyclic. The first one is the macrocyclic. In this life cycle, all the spore states are present. The demicyclic lacks the uridinyl state, and the microcyclic cycle lacks the basidial, pycnial, and the axial states. Thus, it just bears only uridinia and the telia. There are two categories on the basis of the occurrence of spore stages on the host. In macrocyclic and demicyclic life cycles, the rust may be either host alternating, that is the heteroecious, in which the axial state is on one kind of plant, but the teleal state is on a different unrelated plant. There is another form which is the autoecious, that is the axial and the teleal states on the same host plant. Here are some pictures of the disease caused by different organisms in this order. First, in this picture, you can see the black stem rust of wheat, which is caused by the Puccinia graminis. Here you can see the stem of the wheat, and you can see the sori on which spores are present. These are the rusty spores, which indicate the infection of rust. Here you can see another organism in Pucciniales, which is Chronartium ribicola. It causes white pine blister rust. Here you can see this is the white pine tree, and these are the blisters which are caused by the rust. Here you can see the close view of this rust fungi. Another organism is Hamelia vastatrix. It causes coffee leaf rust. Here you can see the infection on the leaf in the form of orange red pustules. Euromyces appendiculatus is the causative agent of bean rust. And here you can see the infection on the underside of the leaf in the form of these spots. So these were the various diseases which are caused by the members of Uridanales. The classical example of the rust fungus is the Puccinia graminis, which cause the black stem rust on wheat and other cereals. Here you can see its classification in kingdom fungi, division Basidiomycota, class Pucciniomycetes, and the order Puccineales. The family is Pucciniaceae and genus is Puccinia, and the species is the Puccinia graminis, which is the causative agent of the black stem rust of wheat and other cereals. Let's have a look over its general characters and life cycle. Puccinia graminis causes diseases in bread wheat, durum wheat, barley, and triticale. It is the obligate biotrophic parasite. That is, it cannot be grown on a culture medium in laboratory, but some scientists are successful on growing some spore stages in the lab. The life cycle is macrocyclic, that is, all spore stages are present in this organism. It is heteroecious, that is, it completes its life cycle on two different hosts. The first one is the wheat, which is the principal host, and it is monocot. The other one is barberry, which is the alternate host or the dicot host. Here you can see the picture of the Triticum aestivum, which is the principal host, and this is the shrub, and it is the Barberries vulgaris, commonly known as barberry, and it is the dicot host. Here you can see the occurrence of spore stages during the life cycle of Puccinia graminis. Stage 0, that is represented by the pycnospores, is found on barberry. Stage 1 is represented by achiospores. These spores are also found on barberry. Stage 2 represented by uridinospores, and the stage 3 represented by teleospores are found on wheat plant, while the stage 4, which is represented by the basidiospores, are found on the teleospores. So these are the various spore stages which are found on different hosts, and one is, that is, the basidiospores. These are germinated on the teleospores. Let's have a look over its life cycle. Here you can see this is the monocot host, that is the wheat, and here you can see the alternate host, which is the barberry. The achiospores, which are coming from the alternate host, infect the wheat plant, and these spores are dikaryotic and heterokaryotic. That is, two different types of nuclei can be seen here. One is the darker one and other is the lighter one. These are the achiospores, and these spores infect the wheat plant, and after infection the mycelium germinates and form a sorus, which is known as the uridinium, and inside the uridinium the spores are formed, which are called the uridinospores, and these spores bear a stalk. Here you can see this is a stalk, and these spores are dikaryotic, and these spores are rusty brown or the orange in color, and they are dikaryotic, and they bear some kinds of ornamentation over its external surface, and these spores are those which spread the infection in the wheat field. And when these spores spread the infection, and after that when the conditions are unfavorable to these spores, that is during the end of the season of this crop, the Uridium is converted into another stage which is known as the teleal stage, and the teleospores are produced in the teleum, which are also formed on the wheat plant. These spores are bicelled. Here you can see the two cells of the spore, and they are dikaryotic. Each cell bears two nuclei, and these are thick-walled overwintering spores. That is, when the wheat crop harvested, these spores overwinter in the soil, and after that, after some period, the two nuclei combine, that is karyogamy takes place. As a result, zygote is formed in both the cells. When the conditions are favorable, this spore germinate and produce a promycelium or the probasidium. And here you can see the phragmobasidia, and this is also called the promycelium. Inside the teleospore cell, meiosis takes place where the zygote was present. Meiosis takes place. As a result, 4 haploid nuclei are formed, and these haploid nuclei migrate in the promycelium, and then they form the basidiospores on the external side of the promycelium. Here you can see these basidiospores are genetically unidentical because they are produced by the process of meiosis. And each cell of this teleospore germinate to form the promycelium and the basidiospores. These basidiospores are uninucleated and haploid, and they are of different types. And these basidiospores then germinate on another host, which is the alternate host or the dicot host. And if these spores are genetically unidentical, they form two different types of pycnium. And here you can see this is represented by minus and this is represented by plus. It means that these are formed by two genetically unidentical basidiospores. So one is different and other is its compatible form. Here you can see the mycelium is formed, and these mycelium is in the form of hyphae as well as the spores. These spores are called the pycnospores, and same is the case here. There is some pycnospores are formed, and you can also see some kinds of hyphae which are originated from these pycnium. These hyphae are called the flexus hyphae or the receptive hyphae. Here you can see the spore of the minus strain move towards the plus strain, and the flexus hyphae will accept this pycnospore. Here you can see the magnifying form of this part. This is the flexus hyphae and this is the pycnospore which comes from the minus strain, and this spore then attaches itself with the flexus hyphae. After attachment, it will transfer its nucleus in this hyphae, and this nucleus then move downwards. The whole process, that is the formation of pycnium and the pycnospores, is proceeded on the upper side of the leaf, and after the migration of the nucleus, the hyphae then started moving towards the lower side of the leaf. Here you can see on the lower epidermis of the leaf, you can see some other kind of structure which is known as the acium. The above side bears the pycnium and the below side is the acium, and this acium is formed by the dikaryotic mycelium, which is formed by the attachment of the pycniospore and the transfer of nucleus in the plexus hypha. So from here all the hyphae are dikaryotic, and as a result new type of spores are produced from the underside of the Barbary leaf, and these spores are the aciospores and these are the dikaryotic spores. Here you can see two nuclei. One nucleus comes from the plexus hyphae and other is coming from the pycniospore. So these are the two different types of nuclei. These aciospores then infect the wheat plant, and the infection is started with the aciospores, and after that the infection is spread through the uridineospores in the whole wheat field. So this is the whole life cycle of the rust fungi. Let's watch a small video that represents this life cycle.
The nucleus of the pycniospore migrates into the receptive hypha and subsequently inside strands of mycelium deep into the mesophyll of the meadow rose leaf. Here the nucleus reproduces itself many times over. Two nuclei of each mating type pair up. These cells, which are now dikaryotic, become parent cells for the esiospores of leaf rust. The esiospores develop in the form of chains. They are produced within an open cup-like organ, the ecium. After being released, the esiospores are carried by the wind back to the other host, the cereal. This is where the dikaryotic esiospore germinates. The infection leads to the development of dikaryotic mycelium, from which in turn dikaryotic uridineospores and later on in the year teleospores originate. The dikaryotic phase ends with the basidiospores, which are once again haploid. So the complete life cycle of leaf rust includes 5 spore stages. Puccinia recondita is macrocyclic.
So this is all about the uridinales, which is now known as the pucciniales. You can read the details from this literature. Thank you very much.